Okay, so now let's add these fields. So I'm going to put private string phone number, private string I'm going to put as a local date time created, and local date time updated. This is from the Java time API. And I'm going to create getters and setters and restart my application. Okay, so now it works. But I have a question. Here we have this column called phone underline number. And here we have this field, phone and camel case type of writing. How does Hibernate know to map this specific field to this specific column? So let me just put here like 2 with T uppercase, and you will see why. Because, okay, let me just delete these getters and setters, for example. Because Hibernate has a naming strategy in which all of your camel cases fields will be converted to underline type of writing. So you see here, because I have written phone number 2 as a camel case, it has converted to phone number 2. It's trying to find a match. It's trying to find this column in my office persons table, and because it didn't find, it has thrown an error. That is why when you put phone number like this, basically it will map with this particular column, phone number, and that is why it didn't throw an error. Now there is another approach. If you want to explicitly tell Hibernate, hey, please look on this on this column which I have told you. Let's say you don't want to put phone number, you want to put like something like user phone number. This is the field which you want to use in your application, but in your database the name of your column is phone number. So you can do this annotation called column, and this has an attribute phone number. So basically what what Hibernate will do behind the scenes, it won't look in this user phone number, it won't convert to user phone number, but it will do this specific value which you have declared here. This is something similar to our table annotations. If you remember, when we didn't put the table annotation, it looked into a default value which is the class name up lowercase, so person. And here we explicitly tell, hey, please look on the table with the name persons in the schema office. And this is what another approach is, to use this add column annotation, and please look at this phone number column. Now I'm just going to remove this altogether, and I'm going to put, but this is just to show you the add column annotation. I'm going to also add getter and setter. And now it's done. So now we have successfully mapped our Java class, which we create objects, to our table in our application. And you see how, based on some simple entities, JPA and Hibernate does all the work for us. But this is not all, because what we want in the end is, if we go to person controller here, in the, let's say, get one here, instead of getting from my list from which we have here, from this hard-coded list, I want to get from the database, and I also want to save it to my database. I want to also update it to my database, and so on. And this is where also Hibernate and JPA comes in to help, because we will see how easy and how little code we need to write, but we need to understand how it works behind the scenes.